Boom, 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 boom. Johnny!
I was getting into that music there.
Yeah, it's catchy. And I was getting into it too.
We're going to make a new one of those eventually where we'll take a bunch of our clips and put them all together and make it into like a cool little intro.
That would be fun. Yeah. I don't want to change the song, though. I like that song.
No, we can keep the song. We'll keep the same song.
So how's it going otherwise?
It's going good. I was running late today because I actually had a headshot to do for a real estate agent today in the studio, and she left about 12:30, and I was getting things together, and Colleen's like, "Oh yeah, you got a webinar at 1, right?" I'm like, "Oh shoot, that's right." So I had to start racing, get everything together.
No lunch for you.
No, we'll eat after.
Yeah, it's all good.
Hopefully I sound okay. I think I didn't mess with the volume and that. Hopefully I'm not too loud or too soft.
You're perfect, man. You got that real dramatic radio DJ voice. The Midnight
Q107 Toronto.
With John Butler. So,
yeah.
I want to just question something to you. I'm going to try and share my screen. I've tried this before. And let's see if this works.
Look, he's got it working. Look at that. He's starting to learn how to use it now.
I can't. I want to. No, it's not the screen. I wanted to show. I wanted to show my Instagram.
Okay, so when you hit the share button, and share screen, you want to go. You have your entire screen, application window, and then there should be a tab for either Chrome tab if you're on Chrome or Firefox or something.
Mozilla.
You might see Mozilla one there.
Only share. Blah blah blah. Nope. Okay, I'm going to give it one more try, and then I'm going to give up on it. And then, but it's got to do with a question I have for you, and I want to ask you a few questions. Just give me one more attempt. So I tried Mozilla, I tried desktop, I tried entire. I'm going to try one more. I have 3 options: select window or screen, StreamYard, desktop, or entire screen. I'm going to entire screen now.
You might get that little effect that you had before.
Yeah. Anyways, so if I go to your Instagram, there's a picture.
My Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aceman 15 CA.
That's the one. Yep.
And I see a bottle of red, compliments of John A. Butler Photography.
Yep.
Chilean Merlot 2020, and a glass.
That was last night.
And I'm like, John, they got meetings for that. So is that really your branded wine, or did you just make that label up, or is that Photoshop?
Well, no, it's kind of both. Like we have a brew your own place here called Court Culture, and they're actually a winemaking place here where you can actually go and get your own. So they actually brew it for you. So actually you just go and pick out the one you want,
right?
And then they will brew it for you, and then they call you when it's ready. It usually takes a month or 2. Once it's ready, they call you and say, okay, it's ready for bottling, and then you actually go in and you bottle it and put your labels on it.
That's really nice. Did you give that out to clients and stuff?
I did. It cost me altogether for the bottles, the labeling, everything.
Can you show the screen before you continue, just so people know what you're talking?
I can do it there. Yeah.
I tried, but it's not working, right?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt
exactly, because if I'm not mistaken, it's actually on my Facebook too. So.
You guys got to see this. It's really cool. I'm inspired. This is what a cool gift idea.
And I'm going to now share my screen. I actually have 2 bottles here. I could show you the real thing, really.
Well, there you go. Well, why don't you do that? Let's just grab one.
That's probably the one you're talking about.
That's the shot I saw.
Yeah.
And I saved it. I thought, well, there you go. Let's chat about that.
Let me go grab one. Hold on a second. I got the headphones off. I probably won't be able to hear you.
So, yeah. Gift giving ideas for specific clients. I'm going to ask John what he paid for these.
All right.
Then we'll get into lighting.
Headphones back on.
He can't hear me. Now he can hear me.
Now I can hear you.
Careful. He's back.
But yeah, and of course you got like that Toronto Maple Leaf helmet that's on top there, that little cork thing.
I noticed that.
Because I had opened it, so I had to put that into sort of...
For all you hockey fans out there.
But I'll put myself on full screen for a second, and there we go.
Nice.
So if you can read it, Chilean Merlot 2020, because that's when I did it.
Yep.
It was around November when it was ready to be bottled, but then and I have my company colors, which it's getting faded a bit because it's a teal color, and of course, but I'm not on green screen. I don't know why it's doing that. Maybe I'm set to green screen still, but I don't have any green on. And
Probably.
I bet you anyway that's what it is. Take none. There we go.
How many?
That'll fix it.
How many bottles did you cork? And
Yeah. So what happens is I paid about $150, I think, and that gave me the bottles, the labels, and the booze inside. And then when you go to bottle it, it works out to be somewhere around 29 bottles
for how much again?
for about $150 altogether. So you're looking about $10 a wine.
That's pretty good.
Even less than that. It was like probably like $7 or something like that. I don't know the math, but yeah, no. And then what I did was, I did it late, and you're supposed to, you bottle it, and then you're supposed to let it sit bottled with the cork in and everything for about 30 days or so, for about a month or so before it's ready to open. They say 2 weeks or something like that,
Right.
Or a month or something. So I actually waited 2 weeks before I went in to bottle it. So that got half of the month gone, and then I bottled it and I took it to clients, some of my really, really good clients. And I'm on full screen here still. I don't know why. I took it to a bunch of my clients locally here, and I handed it to them with a nice Christmas card. And thanking them for their service or their business and that with John A. Butler Photography. And these are ones that are like corporate clients, like one of the health centers here where I do all their headshots for their 20-something employees. Every time they get new and they send them over. Things like that. Really good clients, and some of my real estate clients and things like that. And I give them a bottle of wine. And it's a cheap way to show your appreciation, and they loved it.
I'm going to say it's even better than a box of baked goods, butter tarts and muffins, or cupcakes, or even a fruit basket. Let's give them some wine. I mean,
and now I found out they actually have bottles this size, like this bottle of water. You can actually get bottles this size, so you can probably get like about 60 or something, or 50 something bottles of the smaller ones, and hand those out too, or trade shows. These are good for bridal shows. Like I do my pinup booth at bridal shows, and you always have to have a gift worth about $50 to give at your table, and they do a draw, and every table has a gift that they give. And so you can make a couple of these, maybe have a red and a white, and then have it in a nice basket with some other stuff in there. And it might have cost you $20 for everything, but it's $50 value or whatever to them. And some bride wins your thing, and they come over and they got a basket with wine and stuff in it. They love it. I'm
going to look in to see where. I'm sure we can get that in our city. Anybody out there listening, do you know of any wine places that have that in your city? Is that Shelley from Calgary? Hello from Calgary, Facebook user. Probably.
Yes, that is her, actually. I just noticed that. I wasn't even looking at the things there. Yeah, that is Shelley.
And if you have that, do you not think this is a great idea? I love it. Why didn't I think of that in the first place?
And if you can't find somebody near you, then call here and talk to them and see. They have a website. You can go on, pick the one you want. They can brew it for you here. And then when you come in July to do your fairy portraits, you can go and bottle it then and take it home with you.
That's a good idea. And I'm going to guess they might even ship if you're anywhere else.
Possibly. It's a great company. It's right here in Pembroke, on the other side of Pembroke.
All right. What's it called again? So we can just, in case
Cork Culture.
And that's their website, corkculture.com?
I think so. I think it's, and talk to Cara if you can, Cara.
Cool.
Cork Culture Pembroke. If you just type in Cork and Culture Pembroke, it comes up. And yeah, it's corkculture.ca.
There you go.
And if I go here and just go talking, because today's not just lighting, it's talking about marketing too. Why not talk about it, right? So
mishmash. We're winging it. I'm going to try sharing my screen. I just realized I've got all this stuff that I want to show you guys, because we're talking about lighting today, and I'm like, crap, I can't even show my screen. So I don't know how I'm going to get through that.
Oh, we'll get you through it. We're going to have to get you some Chrome. You're going to have to download Chrome on your computer.
Is it Chrome that's giving me the problem?
So I don't know, because I use Chrome.
I'm going to give this another try. Can you stop sharing?
Yeah, but that's the company right there, Cork Culture.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You should be able to share yours now.
And that didn't work. Let me try the other one. I know sharing my desktop worked. So I dropped the folder with all my images on the desktop.
Yeah, I see your desktop, no problem.
Okay, now let me ask you this. If I make one of the images that are on my desktop, you can see them, right?
Sometimes you might have to go and share that. I just saw you go bigger there.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna click this one here and make it bigger.
I'll tell you if it comes up. If it doesn't, then you might have to go and see it. Is it already bigger on your screen?
It is.
So you have to go share a different screen. Now, when you go to share screen again, you should see that one pop up. on there too.
Apologize, everybody. We're still learning this program.
I've started to get a lot more adapt because I do 2 other podcasts with it. So there's your infinity thing again.
Yeah, it's not working.
See, when I do it, I wish I could share what I see.
Yeah.
But
so do you figure it's the wrong browser?
yeah, you're looking at your entire screen.
Yeah, it's not
Now, beside it, you should have something that says application window. When you do that, beside it, where it says your entire screen, you should have one that says application window too.
No.
See, I'll see if I take a picture of this and see if I can.
No. I just get, will you allow StreamYard to see your screen? Window or screen to share entire screen. All visible windows on your screen will be shared. And then a big warning with an exclamation mark. Only share screens with sites you trust. Blah, 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 blah. Disable notifications from Firefox. And then I got allow, not allow. So if I hit allow, that's what you get.
See, what I'm getting is, I don't know if you can see that, if it's focused or not.
Give it a second. Yeah, you're almost too close. There we go.
See the Chrome
No,
tab there?
I don't get that. No.
That's
I
what
just
I
get a 3-item drop-down menu.
So maybe what'll be better is if beforehand, if you have something you want to share, just send it to me and I can share it for you.
I'm just going to say I'm going to do that right now. So, all right. So,
just send it to me through Facebook. I'll download on my desktop and share it for you.
it's 372 megabytes. Oh, you know what, though? I'm going to tell you what. It's everything I do in my studio is backed up on Dropbox. So I have instant access to the link. So let me send you that, and we'll get into it. And
sounds good.
I can sort of guide you along. And I'm going to download Chrome for the next time we do this. I do apologize.
Yeah, and then hopefully that'll fix it. The other option is we let you log in under me, and you become the host.
Well, and if our theory is, if the theory there is that it's whoever logs in has more, like
control.
This solves the problem.
Yep.
It should solve the problem. But if the problem still comes back to the same, then obviously it's Firefox.
Yeah. I love Firefox, don't get me wrong, but I haven't used it in years because ever since I got Chrome, I just use it for everything. So.
Yeah, I'm stubborn. I am stubborn.
I didn't want to say anything, but
I'll say it. It's fine.
And look at me. I'm stubborn too. I keep putting my screen full screen, and then I leave it there all the time. I keep forgetting to take it off. Gotta let people see your pretty face too.
Yeah. All right, John. I just sent you the link.
All right. And I just see the link. Click on it.
So do you have some lighting that you want to talk about?
I can show you something. I was looking because I forgot most of my stuff's on my other laptop that we just got rid of. What am I looking at? Danielle, Rob Studio, or Roma?
There's 3. So I'd like you to go to hold on. All right. Just for a second, go to Roma.
Okay.
No, never mind. Yeah. I wanted to talk about.
I saw that. That's food stuff.
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to send you another item. And then I want you to show this one first.
Okay.
And there it is. You're going to recognize this. I posted this in the... I'll talk about this.
I did. Yeah, I do recognize this from your post.
Yeah, I want you to show this to everybody.
All right.
If you don't mind, good sir.
No, not at all. I'm actually going to download it to make it so you don't see all the
Guga. So
Facebook Guga.
What John's going to show is something I posted in the Facebook group. And it's not to do so much with lighting, but I want to get into the lighting because I thought the lighting was particularly instructive and the backstory behind this particular session. So what happened was I photographed a local guy. He's got it's a takeout restaurant. He was retired, longtime restaurateur in our city, and I known him and his wife and kid really well because I shot their wedding. I shot their first communion pictures. I shot their family picture 2 years ago. And he started this. He bought a portable wood-fired pizza oven that he started selling pizzas out of his driveway. I think he's just bored. And last fall, he went ahead and built an actual bricks mortar location. He's going gangbuster. So he installed at great expense inside his restaurant, his takeout restaurant, a wood-fired pizza oven, and that gives him a real marketing edge. So he texted me a few weeks ago, maybe 2 months ago. He said, I got to get you to come in and do some menu item photography. So I said, good, okay, we'll get to it. Anyways, I texted him when we went into lockdown. I said, this is a good time. I'm bored. I'm sitting around. I'm allowed to do commercial photography. And I gave him a real discount. I said, let's go cash only because he's Italian. They like doing the cash thing. And so I'm going to show you in great details of lighting in a minute. But here's what happened. I shot with 2 cameras. They were both the same camera, A7R2 Sony, 42 megapixel full res files, all JPEGs. I know, shoot me now. And the core shots are shot with everything's on the floor, which I'll show you in a minute, with the 55 mil, which is, by the way, one of the sharpest lenses in the world ever. The Sony 55 mil Zeiss lens is one of the sharpest. It's a dinky little lens too. With a big price tag because I paid almost $2,000 for it. Yep. But it is so sharp. So I used it. And then I also had on my second A7R2, my old Beta original one that I bought, the 135 Batis lens. So for some nice long focal length shots, I did some like side shots. And the images from that lens, that camera, are what you can see in the screen. So over 300 images went black. See the vertical images? Yeah. And I posted it on the forum, and I don't know what happened. So, but my wife texted me this morning, and I posted this in the forum too. I said that, what I quoted her, she said, maybe that's the same, because we've narrowed it down to the card. Okay. Because I
think you said you could see it on the back of the camera though when it was in there.
While I was shooting, but okay, let me explain that in a minute. So while I was shooting, everything looked fine. When I downloaded, I'm like, oh crap, they're all black, or half of them are black. I loaded the card back in the camera and they were black. I was kind of hoping maybe it was in the camera, they'd go back to normal. And I ran the card through data rescue. I did a deep rescue, nothing, all black, black, black. So the big question is, well, why are they all vertical? Because I didn't shoot them all vertical. Yeah, I don't know. And the other question I get is, are they all the same size? They're all the exact same size, whatever pixels, 7,000 by whatever. So I'm like, there's nothing here that's leading me to solving the problem. So maybe my wife's got it when she texted me this morning. She said, that could be the same card that went through the washing machine last month. This card. I mean, it was in my pocket, and she found it after it got taken out, and it might have gone through the dryer. Probably did. And she said, Rob, look what I found in your pocket. And I looked at it and was like, shit.
But I kind of find it funny how half of them still came out then.
No explanation, John. So I popped another card. I did a photo shoot. Fine. I took a bit of a risk by doing that. I know that. Yeah. And but anyways, that photo shoot that I did a couple of headshots this week. Yeah. If we got time, if we're looking for something to talk, I can't do it. I got to show my screen to do that. I was going to say I could show it because she chose her image this morning, and I could show you my workflow. It'd be something cool to do. But I'll save it for next time.
Okay, we'll get it worked out. Yeah. So, see, I think maybe does your camera? You have the A7 III, right?
A7R2.
Oh, the R2. Okay, because I thought it was maybe the 3, because I thought maybe you have a dual card slot and you can have
I don't know if the 3 has a dual card. I know the 4 does. So I've been eyeballing, and I've never really cared much about having, because it's never been an issue for me. No, if it would have been, it's like, but now I'm thinking maybe I should look at the A7R4, which I've been looking at anyways. I have no reason to get the R3 because it's very much the same as the R2.
Well, I'm looking between the Canon R5 and the Canon R6 right now.
All right.
And they both have their thing. Like the R5 is the 45 megapixel dual card slot, but it's got an SD card, but it's also got that new CFast card, which is like a compact flash card, but it's a faster version of it.
Right.
So it's two different kind of cards, but you can shoot RAW to one and JPEGs to the other, or you can shoot JPEGs to both. You can just shoot to one card and have it redundantly record everything on the other card too as a backup. But then there's also the R6, which is half. It's like 20 megapixel or 21 megapixel, which is more than enough for most of the stuff I do.
Oh, yeah.
And it does 2 SD cards. So that's another one I'm looking at maybe, and it's about half the price. I think the one's like Canadian dollars.
Would
Like
you
5,300, and the other one's like 3,400.
would you use two cards, one for raw, which is you're going to be your worked on images later,
Yeah.
and then the JPEG one? Two questions. Can you say, okay, I just want small JPEG, and I'm only going to use those for proofs?
As far as I know, you can.
And then can you use it for, okay, I'm going to shoot and it's going to show on the screen, maybe you're tethered or maybe it's wireless. So the client gets to see it instantly, but it would grab that JPEG one. Just
Yeah,
for
that's
viewing.
what I do. Well, right now I have it going to the raw, but even with my Canon software, like when I open it up, I can say that I want it to go to the card and I want it to go to Lightroom through the cord, and then I can pick if I want the raw file going there, if I want the JPEG going there, the small.
All right.
I can pick that right now. So
I love that idea.
But if I was to do it and I wanted to do the raw and say a small JPEG, I'd probably do it to both cards at the same time. That way, if something happened in the first card, I've still got everything on the second card. Just do it as a backup. Right now, what I did actually today, I think I've told you this before, is I actually had this laptop set up with Lightroom on, and I was shooting tethered to this. So it was recording on the card as I'm shooting.
Yep.
But I also had this little guy, this little Seagate 1 terabyte plugged into my laptop. So I had Lightroom going to a folder that I have on my desktop. It's called Canon 6D or whatever. I have it labeled. And so when I shoot tethered, my software puts the file on that in that folder.
Yeah.
And then what Lightroom does is I have it set up to watch that folder. As soon as anything comes into that folder, it grabs it, takes it out, and it puts it onto here instead, into a location I want it. That way, when the shoot's done, I don't have to take my memory card out and take it to the computer to download to
all
workflow
downloaded.
and that. It's all on this. And I just top this out. Then I take this to Colleen to the main computer that we have that we do all our workflow on. We pop this in. The card stays in the camera, and I just download it from here onto our main drive and our 2 backup drives. And that way, it's not as much with I find the SD cards, but when we had the compact flash cards with our older cameras, like with the 7D, and I had the 4D, and I had the 40D, sorry, and the 20. When you had those, they were the compact flash cards, and they have all those little pins. And every time you take it out and in and out and in, you're always afraid of bending one of those pins. You might as well buy a new camera if you do that.
And then the double Ds.
Yeah. So I mean, it was a matter of the SDs aren't as bad, but just taking it in and out, you don't know if you'll wear out the contacts on those cards or what, and that. So this way, I don't have to worry about it. It just goes on this, and then I just unplug this, take it to the computer, and download that, and I can leave the other one in the car in there.
There's times, I believe, when shooting tethered makes sense if you need really fast access to show a client. And I thought of doing that, and I might one day.
With the Realty headshots, I love it. Because they can kind of get an idea of what it's look like. Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. Without having to look at my camera, and then they calm down a bit and relax, and then you can get some really good shots that way.
But if they see that screen, they're going to be constantly looking at it. And while
I don't have it facing them. I have it facing me.
Okay, good.
And then I'll say, "Oh, wow, it looks great. Hey, what you want to see?" And I'll turn it towards them, and I'll show them and that, and then they can see it bigger than trying to look at the back of my screen there.
Here's what I thought of doing a ferry shoot. Mom and dad, grandpa, grandma sitting there, a big screen right across from them.
Yep.
And while I'm shooting, they show up. They just they can watch it, like it'll entertain them, and I can just.
Well, if you want, when you're here, we'll set it up.
Maybe we will.
And we'll try it for one of them, 2 of them, just to see. We could do it before they even come, and you can test it. Because I have another screen TV here that like the one that Tina was using. But remember, you were using your own thing, but I have another 32-inch one now.
I'm only intrigued by that idea for those kinds of shoots, just to enhance the experience, not necessarily as a utility beyond that. But and also that they'll get their first preview instantly. And then I've always been trying to formulate a plan. I haven't got there yet, where we shoot, show, and sell right away, so they don't have to come back. And I haven't figured that one out, but tethered and what we're talking about may somehow play into that.
And I like it for backup, because if you were shooting your product stuff there and you were doing tethered, the card might have been screwed up, but everything would have been backed up on your computer fine, probably.
In theory, you're absolutely right. Shelly's saying, I had that happen to a shoot and found a corrupt file, deleted that file, and all files were opened up again. That has happened to me before too. Not recently, though, but I can remember 10, 11, 12 years ago that I got that one corrupt file, and you just got to find it, and you delete it, and everything goes back to normal.
Well, what I used to work in Edmonton camera store there, and I would tell my clients when they came to buy a camera, when they were shooting, try your best not to use the delete button on your camera.
Not to use what?
Not to use the delete button. So if you're going through looking at pictures and you see when you don't like, you hit delete and just delete that picture. I always say wait till you've downloaded everything on the computer or whatever, and then format your card instead. Because I always use the analogy of like the old beta and VHS days with the videotapes. If you, or even a cassette tape. Remember we used to listen to music on your cassette tapes. And if you had one of those blank ones, you record music on it and you listen to it, and then you go and record a different song over top of that. You're bored of that and you want different stuff. The more times you record it over, you can actually hear some of the old stuff still on that tape. Because it was still there. It was never really gone. But if you took that tape and threw it over by a big magnet and put it there, it would just erase it completely. And then you record songs again and you'll be fine. Same thing with a memory card. If you just hit delete, what happens is sometimes some of the little pixels will stick around. And then as you go and keep recording over that card, some of those pixels will corrupt your files and you won't be able to find them. But if you format it, it makes the card like it's brand new from the store again.
Brand new tune-up. John, can you go back to that Roma file? I'm going to show a few of these pictures, and then maybe we can show some of yours. I got three separate shoots I want to show you guys, including some of the shots that I did of my daughter that are I just totally blown away by the lighting we got in her 2-bedroom apartment. But let's go to Roma, and I'll show you that commercial shoot. So
I hit one of the pictures. Hold on a second. There we go.
So, all right. So you can see the bottom right. Can you blow that one up?
I sure can. This one here?
Yep. All right. There's my lighting. So that's inside his restaurant. You can see he's got a counter there, and people come in above the counter. You see the plexiglass. They come in and pick up their order. He's really, really busy. And so we came in on a Sunday, last Sunday, and did this. We were done in and out and under 2 hours. I kind of had an idea what I wanted, and I wanted to shoot down. You know, there's different ways to do food. You could shoot sideways or shoot down. I wanted to shoot down, and that's why I decided to put it on the floor. He had that cutting board. Put his sticker on the bottom right. You can see it.
Yeah, that's actually cool.
Yeah. And then I went and I saw, this board's not big enough. Let's go grab some logs. He's got lots of cords of maple dried up and, stored away. So I used the Godox AD600, and you could see the angle. A lot of light's going to come back from the reflector. And off to the right, I have the AD200 with a small softbox with the grid light. And that's just really turned down nice and low just for a little extra kicker. So that's my lighting. 100 at f8 is it. So if you can go back to show some of the images, we can just go through them real quick.
And I'm getting ready to buy that same 600 and 2 of these AD 200s actually, but I'm not sure if I'm going for the Pro or the BM like you have there.
Well, the BM is all I need. It's go to top left and let's just go through them real quick. So this is with the 135. This is one of the side shots I did, and same lighting. I didn't change anything. You can see the lighting's coming predominantly from behind. And this is pretty much straight out of camera with some raw editor, which in raw editor, I darken the edges like a vignette a little bit. So these are like the proofs that he saw. So go through them really quick. We don't have to dwell on them too much. And there's the basic over the top shot.
Still his logo in the bottom corner there.
Yeah, and I can take that out. And there's his lasagna.
That looks good.
It's good. It's actually cold. Now, I got to tell you something. He hired a guy who's a very well-known chef who ran on Hard Times. And his name is Simon, or not Simon. The name of his restaurant was Simon's. And he was helping out. And he was really good with, he's the one that placed all the. So when he showed up with the first dish, and I'm like, oh man, you know how to place food. Like he's a legit chef. So anyway.
I like that angle there too.
Yeah. So we got both angles for him from the side and from the top of all the food items. And we got a lot of these we took home with us, and I ate them on the spot too. And there's his oven. I just grabbed some shots with the 135 wide open. They're just kind of side shots, pizzas in the oven. So, that's the kind of lighting. And you can sort of see the detail and the texture and the shadows. The shadows are the important thing, I believe, in food photography. So look at that. That's Simon's creation there.
That little creation there, yeah.
So when we were shooting the cannoli, of course, you know what the line was, right?
No.
From The Godfather.
Oh, The Godfather, yeah.
You know that line?
I do remember. I know it. I just can't remember it offhand. But
leave the gun, take the cannoli. They just shot.
I'll take the cannoli. Did you get to eat any of this stuff?
Yeah, all we wanted. We brought like 5 pizzas home. I brought some to my mother-in-law, and
Were they actually cooked all the way? Because I know some
oh
people,
yeah,
when they make the food photography, they have certain tricks that they do to keep the food looking proper. And
we didn't fuss. We cooked it all the way. That's his daughter. She's hamming it up. At the
I
there's
love it.
okay. I want to show this shot. So he was like, "Can you get a shot of me and my chef?" And I did the two of them. Plus, I threw his daughter in for a few, and there they are. So I just had that same AD 600,
Yeah.
put it on the counter to my right, and if you go to the left, one more picture to the left, you can see Tina in the top left.
Oh yeah, you see her holding
She's
it.
holding the AD 200, and the main light on her and on them is the AD 600 with that softbox. So if you
Your PLS, your private lighting stand, personal lighting stand.
voice activated light stand.
Yeah.
Scroll to the right. There they are. So they're hamming it up. They're really super nice people, and we're just
seems like
having
it.
fun. Yeah, you can go through the.
So
minutes,
him
but-
on the left is the owner that hired you, and the one on the right is that chef that plated everything,
Yeah, and that's the daughter in the middle, Vanessa.
eating the food.
Why is it going there? Go scroll through them again. Again. These are, I'm just at the start, I was
test?
just doing,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it went to the.
I don't know.
Maybe just the way they're labeled. I don't know.
So I'm just testing here. I guess they got left in there. And, I guess that's it. Okay. Well, that's it.
Back to the beginning again.
All right. So that's my lighting for food photography as I know it. And I'm definitely not a food photography expert. I know there are a lot of tricks you can do with shoe polish and glycerin and icing sugar and lard to make things look really delectable. But just whatever. In my town, we don't have big New York, LA, Toronto food photography demands. So I thought they were pretty good for what we got.
We don't have a lot here either. When I was in Toronto, of course, I was able to do a lot more stuff. But but yeah, here I don't find we have a lot of demand for them either.
Yeah.
So
there's probably something anybody in any town could do if you wanted to hit a restaurant up and say, look, I'll photograph your entire menu. Let's come up with a strategy. What I told this guy was I said, look, here's what I want to do. And I showed him some Pinterest stuff and some stuff that I have from previous shoots. And I said, this is where I'm going. I wanted him to have some input in case he was like hell-bent on, no, this is what I want. But he just went along with whatever I said. But, I wanted to be planned out and have a strategy going in. And I told him, I said, we can shoot while you're actually selling actual food. I can come in one night on a busy night. You shoot something, and that way it won't cost you anything. Okay, it's a bit of a pain. You're going to be limited. Or we can just dedicate 2-3 hours and you can shoot. Typically, when you do that, a lot of that food goes to waste. Or you got to. Well, he just gave it to us. We took all we wanted. So we didn't do anything with the food to make it inedible.
edible.
Inedible.
Ineditable.
So I'm just saying, if you're you have a restaurant in your area, I mean, a lot of these small business owners are proud of what they got and they want to show it off in the right light. Go in there, you put a couple of hours work, you make $1,000, $800, $1,200, easy money.
Oh, definitely.
Just something to think about. So,
no, I agree. I'm just going through some stuff here while you're talking to show some of my couple things I can get ready for you too. I'm just trying to see. I downloaded a bunch of stuff, but they didn't come through yet.
some of your hockey stuff in studio, you got some.
Well, I don't have the hockey stuff, but I can go over some of it. I might have. See, like I said, most stuff is on my other laptop and stuff. And I was actually going to sit down and just do a video for you of how I did the hockey, but I could still kind of show you. But I'm just going to close this part off. And am I streaming? Yeah, there we go. So I'm just opening up a quick one here. Where's my download folder? Because I just downloaded a whole bunch of stuff here. And we'll bring it into this folder here. Took a lot of this off of my Facebook. And just going to make a quick folder here. Say Xmas. I'll show you some of my Xmas special, which was basically based a lot off of your fairy portraits of how I did it. And then just on the pricing and how you did it. And this would be Robin. And And I was hoping to get, like I said, unfortunately, I had that shoot today, and I didn't get anything done because I forgot.
It's all
that's
good.
my bad. And
I'm just looking at pictures from the National Post of a F-150 truck, which is now at the bottom of Lake Simcoe. And 2 people went through the ice in our town last week. And, you got to wonder. You got to wonder, thinning of the herd.
yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, I might have even seen some of those pictures because people were posting a bunch of with a pickup truck and his the fishing shack going through the ice, and people they posted it here. And it's like,
That's an $80,000 truck.
Yeah.
And you got to wonder, is insurance going to pay for that stupidity? And then they got to pay for the cost of retrieving the cleanup at the bottom of the lake.
No, what? Exactly.
A pain.
So I don't know if you can see that picture there.
Yay, the Fam Jam with the nice fireplace and all.
Yeah, so that was the backdrop I got from Cape Backdrops. It was actually a room backdrop you could buy.
Yep.
And so it came with actually 2 walls and a floor, but the floor is the same fabric material, really good, wrinkle resistant. It's like a fuzzy kind of material actually, and it's wrinkle resistant. You just hang it up and the wrinkles just fade away. It's amazing. You don't even have to steam it or anything. Mm-hmm. And but I didn't like the floor being that material. So what we did was this right wall here where the fireplace is there was actually the floor. It's just the wood grain. There's no pattern on it. It's just that wood grain. There's no windows. There's no nothing. Because the original one had that wood grain wall with a fake fireplace painted on it and some picture frames that are empty. There's no pictures in them. So we didn't use that one at all. We just took the floor apart and put it up on the right to make it into the wall. And then I had a decorator come and decorate the whole setup for me. So we made it look nice and cozy and put these little lamps in. We bought this lamp and we have another one in the back here you can't see right now. And so Colleen and I went and bought some stuff, but a lot of stuff is just the decorators came in. We put this little wreath up. We went and bought this and have it hang in there I have an actual light stand behind this wall going all the way up to the top, and it's got a fishing line going from there down holding that on. But you can't see it because we crop it anyways. And then the fireplace there, I'll tell you the trick I did for that too, and also if you look, there's a little fire in the little glow there. That's actually added later on in Photoshop.
I was going to ask you.
Almost like you do the fairies portraits when you had the little glows and stuff. We did the same thing.
Looks pretty legit.
But if you look at my setup, which I have here for you, I don't know if I have to change my screen. I bet you I do. So we'll get rid of that. And we'll share the setup for you, which I just opened.
Bum, bum, bum.
And so there's the setup.
That's your main light and an umbrella to the right.
Yeah, so what it is
or is it?
That's my main light. Oh, you can't see me. I got to go to that screen so you can see my cursor. That would help.
I see a light bouncing off the wall on the left. What is that? Is that your main light?
That's the main light, actually.
Okay.
So can you see my cursor now?
Yep.
So there's my main light right there.
Interesting.
And I'm bouncing it off because it's a white wall. So I made this my main light. So it's like a big window light coming at them.
Right.
And you can see it's right at the front here where this is. This is a vinyl flooring I bought. It's 2 pieces, actually. They're 6 feet by 8 feet. And they're put together to make it look like one big floor. And like I said, that wall there was actually the floor that came with it.
Yeah.
And so I put up there. And there's where the fishing line is holding holding it. You can't see it, but there's a fishing line going up there and around and tied to a stand back there.
Yeah.
So we got these 2 guys here. We got the fireplace turned on. It's plugged in. And so what happens is it bounces off. It hits the family, and it's a nice even light because it's more like a feathering, basically.
Yeah.
And then this here reflector is on the black side. It's actually blocking light because what I found was this part was coming brighter than over here and over here.
Right.
So I wanted to block it to have more even flow. So then that blocks it from hitting the back there.
Very cool.
Then this was just very low. This was probably like 2.5, maybe even 3 stops lower than this. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to at least 2 stops anyways. And it was just filling in the shadow side of the people just to add a little bit of a fill. Mm-hmm. And that's all I did. And then what you can't see, because it's not showing here because I'm not shooting, is actually in here where the flame is, up here in the gutter part, there's actually my little Luma Pro 160 off camera, like little flash, similar to like an SB 900 or in Canon the 580s or whatever. But it's just it's a slave flash. There's nothing else. It just does slave, and it's actually a black zip tie on the inside holding it in the grill there, shining down, and it's got an orange and a yellow gel on it. I put a yellow one and an orange one because what I found was when I shot, my lights were overpowering this. So even though you see the glow there was no glow in the picture.
Cool.
So to make the glow, I actually have it shining at like 1/32nd power or something, really low, just adding a little glow in there. And then so that way, if you look, that's what it came out like.
It's really cool. I love the lighting, by the way.
Yeah. So that's
very flattering. That's like having a big giant softbox.
Pretty much. I mean, I have the white walls. Why not use them?
Yeah.
And it keeps a lot of things out of the way. If I did a softbox, what I was afraid of was, if I go back to it again, I'm just trying to open it up here. If I did a softbox right here, then the light's going to be around here, and you're going to have this big giant softbox coming out, or even that big umbrella we use, and it would be here, and trying to walk by, and that would have been not as easy.
Damn big giant softboxes hogging all the space.
Exactly. And then I would move around. I'd sometimes take the camera, come over into the corner here, like over here, and I would shoot this way so that I would get like the kids on the ground and get the fireplace behind them and stuff with the word joy here. And we had some kids would sit on there. I don't know if that family had one. Yeah, see, he's sitting on there just to bring them up to grandma a little bit there.
Hey, can you zoom in close on that image?
I can try. It should be no problem. What would you like to see?
Really close, especially the boy, the girl in the front.
Okay, it's gonna get a little fuzzy because it's not a high res shot there. But
I'm looking at the shadows. I'm wondering, just worthy of testing, two things, and this is just me and my thoughts. Well, the first thing that I'm thinking of. Can you scroll? Okay, so don't take anything I'm saying personal.
No, I never do.
I'm just blurting out ideas. See that little boy?
This guy, yep.
Now, if it were me, this is how I always default when I'm shooting multi-generational families. Okay? Not that boy, the other boy in the ladder.
Okay.
He's younger, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Here's what I would have done. I would have had him stand to grandma's right, scoosh grandma over a little bit. Okay. Zoom out, show the whole picture. Okay. See dad, grandpa?
Yeah.
Go a little lower with your cursor. A little lower. Right there.
Right there, yeah.
Not as
right
flat.
there. Yep.
Yeah, because he's got the belly.
Yeah.
And I always put the youngest grandkid between grandma and grandpa because they love that. I surround them with the grandkids. They love that.
What I could have did, I could have moved him over too. I could have maybe moved him over here too.
Yeah, but I usually put the youngest. But that's just my thinking.
Nope,
and I'm also going to suggest, because I love this lighting, but I think you might be overfilling. I always have an issue with overfill. Yeah. And take that fill and turn it down and push
it down a bit more.
Bring it to the left side of the camera. That's called form fill. When the fill is on the same side of the main, just experiment with it a little bit. Again, that's just me. I don't want to tell another.
No, that's fine. No, not at all.
Because I absolutely freaking love what you're doing here, and I think it's amazing. So,
I actually did another one, not from this one, but a while ago back, I did a family portrait where I actually had the one light coming like it is now, but it was in the softbox, and my fill was actually that big 7-foot umbrella I have that you have also. I had it behind me, so it was right behind me, shining straight at like 3 stops less, just to add in a little fill, but it wasn't to the right. It was actually right behind.
Yeah,
me.
when it's right behind, when it's right behind you, that's very classic. Yeah. That's how studios have been set up for decades and generations. But the form fill is when it's on the same side as the main. Which to me, you're really splitting hairs. It's like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Okay. But I've never been a fan of fill light on the opposite side of the main. That's just never something that's clicked with me. I noticed that I thought it was Shelly that made that comment. I had that happen to a shoot and found a corrupt file. I'm just going back to our previous commentary. That was not Shelly. That was none other than. Oh, I lost it now.
I've got it right here in front of me. That was Joseph, wasn't it?
Joseph LeDuc.
Yep.
I would love to get Joseph on one of these. Have you seen some of the stuff he's shooting? He does experimental stuff. It's unfreaking believable. Joseph, I'm putting you on the spot. We're going to talk later. But good. That's really good, John. I really love what you're doing there. And it's what's cool too is it's not a massively big area, but you're getting all these people in there, and they don't look like they're constricted or stuffed into an area. It's like they would love that shot, and that you're looking at wall portrait material.
Well, I appreciate that. And then I can do one more, and then we'll go back to you. How's that?
Oh yeah. Well, I just got two more I want to show. So if you want to back and forth, we can do that as well.
Yeah, because I got this one here. This was an actual glamour shoot I did with a friend that I just told her I want to do some fun stuff, and she's actually a mortician in the area.
Is that a beauty
B&I group?
Is that a beauty dish you use?
That's a beauty dish, yeah. I got that off of Amazon, I think it was. Fits the alien bees. But the thing is, what I love is the speed ring in it. You can take it out and put a Bowen's mount in if you end up getting like the Godex or something. But it's a beautiful one. It's got the grid on it too. So I've got the little grid. So it's just going on her, not hitting that gray backdrop. Reflector underneath. So it's like a clamshell lighting going there. Then I have this one coming back and hitting her for a kicker. And I have another one. I don't know if it's this one or if it's another one, but it's actually coming back and hitting her as a kicker.
Nice.
But I didn't want the gray backdrop. That wasn't what we wanted because she has like a purple lipstick and that. So we want to experiment. So if you look right here, I've got a little off-camera flash shining on the background, and there's a little yellow gel on there. We also did one with purple.
Nice.
And so what we were getting is stuff like this.
Nice.
I made into a magazine cover for that one.
Yeah.
But you can see this was the kind of stuff. That's with the purple gel on that off-camera flash.
Nice.
People think they have to buy all these seamless papers. It's like, no, just get an off-camera flash and a little gel, and you can do whatever you need to. That's a little hat I had sitting around. We just wanted to do like a glamour magazine type of thing, just something for fun.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's how that was shot. It was just shot all with just that little lighting there.
Can you move to the other image just prior to this one?
That one?
So you could see that reflector on the bottom part of her eyes, right? There it is.
And that's what I want. I wanted to get a nice little specular in there. And I love the clamshell for beauty lighting like this. And this, we had her looking down. She's not actually closing her eyes. She's more looking down. I find if it's closed, it doesn't look right. But we wanted to get that nice color in her eyes there. Basically, what I did was the makeup artist and I said, let's get a model in here and have some fun. She wanted to experiment. So what I did was... they came here. I brought them over here behind me where this makeup area is here. And I said, okay, you guys play, have some fun, and I'll be back. And I took off for an hour and did errands and stuff. Came back to the studio and she was ready to go. And so we had some fun with it.
It's always fun to experiment like that.
Exactly. Just thought I'd show that. Just a little bit different lighting in case anybody's looking for something different.
Yeah, I have a couple of beauty dishes. I never use them. But I should. I have one for the Godox and one for the Alien Bee.
I like it when I'm doing stuff like that, but I also did an International Women's Day not too long ago, and we had a friend of mine. She came in, and she's a fitness trainer, and they're beautiful for that too. Because I did the same thing, coming down on her, no reflector. I just wanted a nice harsh light coming on her. 2 kickers coming in with the strip lights on grids, and then just had the gray background, and then we added a texture backdrop later on. It came out awesome.
You have that one handy?
Like a weight. I should actually. Yeah, well, I'll go find it. It's in my Pixie set here, but I definitely have it. And because she actually we made up what I did for some people is if we have a lot of groups like that, we'll actually do one shot and we'll touch it up so they can see it before and after, so they know when they order any other ones what it's going to look like, kind of.
Nice.
And let me see if I can find. So let me see 1, 2. And 3, yeah. So I made it up. I made it in black and white too. So I'll show you straight out of the camera. And share screen. Let's find the right one. I believe it's this one.
Ta-da!
So that's straight. That's straight out of the camera, and that's just the beauty dish in almost the same position that other one was, but no reflector underneath. We have one kicker light coming in here and another kicker light coming in this way, and the beauty dish coming in. You can kind of see it in her eyes. Unfortunately, I can't blow it up on this program.
Yeah.
But we just did it like that. And then for the after, that's what we came up with. Very dramatic, textured, cloudy backdrop, really contrasty, brought it out. And then we also gave her a black and white one to look at too. When I do black whites, I like the high contrast black and whites.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
like she's not a bodybuilder, but she's like in the fitness training and stuff like that. So you can see you don't need a lot of, that's just 3 lights, and you can get by doing something like this even with speed lights if you had to, if that's all you had.
Yeah.
Then it's just the way you workflow it, and then boom.
If you had one speed light, you bounced it on the wall behind you,
Yep.
and then you could put 2 reflectors on the other side as kickers.
Definitely. You could. I've done stuff like that.
There's lots of ways to cheat. Or, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I've done it where I needed a hair light, but the ceilings were too low and I can't get a light above the person, and it was just not enough. So I actually had a light off the side bouncing off a white ceiling, bouncing down on them, and it worked perfect.
Sometimes you just go to your cell phone
Yep.
and use the cell phone flashlight.
I've never shot with that before. I've used that at dark in a wedding when I need to get focus on the person's face and you can't see.
Yeah.
But
Can you go to my Danielle folder?
I sure can.
Talk about that for a minute. And it's kind of in line with what we were just talking about. Sometimes you got minimal lighting and maybe one flash, but I'm going to talk about window light here. And I'll show you what we ended up getting.
And where did I put that? 1 second here. We'll go find that again. I just had it, and then I just lost it. So let's see. Robert Provenche. And
So it's called Danielle.
I just had to open your folder again. Okay, get rid of that.
You see the last image is Danielle. I want you to go to that one.
Okay, I just opened her up. Okay, oh, get rid of that. And let's now share the screen.
Or actually go to the first image. You'll see a silhouette of Danielle.
Oh, you want the first one instead?
Oh, whatever. It's, I mean, show me the preview little.
All right.
I'll figure it out. I'll just shut up right now.
Yeah, no, I just had it, and where did it just go? 1 second here.
Slippery buggers, eh, my files?
Get rid of that, and let's try that again. No, that's not what I wanted.
I'm going to pick up my
there we
guitar.
are. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, I see where it is. I see what I did. Now I can share screen. It comes in as an actual window. That's why. I believe it's this one.
Cool. All right. Scroll to the first image. Just go left,
Okay.
left to the first image.
Where'd you go? There she is.
Number 1. See, that's 6. Use the arrow on the bottom. Okay, that one there.
I clicked on it. What happened?
I don't know.
What'd you do?
Go Control Z.
There we go.
Double click that one. Double click it. So that's my daughter's apartment. Her and her boyfriend live there, and they moved in last summer. And one of the first things I told her was, I thought, this is a great place to do pictures. So, of course, she didn't believe me because that happens quite a bit. And just as a little side story, she's a full-time professional graphic designer for a big-time doctor in town who does cosmetic surgery. And she's been working on their website and having major issues. And I've been telling her what she needs to do, and she would never listen to me. And so I went there this week, and I showed her. I said, here's what you got to do. And she's been working with this IT guy, and I'm like, why the hell are they doing this? When you talk about the internet and stuff like that, there's always 101 balls in the air and many things that have got to be lined up. And I know enough to make it dangerous, but when you got that father-daughter thing, do you ever have that, John, with your daughters? You're like, oh, Dad knows best. No, you don't. You're just Dad.
Yeah. I actually had to get another photographer in town to do some modeling shots for her because she wouldn't listen to me. So I said, you're going to shoot her for me.
Those daily beatings didn't pay off. So anyways, we did a shoot of her. And I'm only going to show you the one image, which you've already seen. So here's her. This is her office. Because we're in lockdown, she's got to work from home. So she does all her work from home right here. And this is where I did the picture of her. So scroll 1 to the right.
Okay.
And there's the reflector. So I'm positioned right exactly opposite to her with my back to the window, smack dab in the middle. And I'm shooting with the 55 mil lens, same one I used for the pizza shop.
Okay.
But at 1.8, so 1.8 lens. So I just went wide open. Now scroll. Go. Okay. Skip the next 2 or 3. Go right to the last image. There. And there's the result.
There's nothing wrong with that shot at all.
I had her sitting on the chair for some, and that's why her hands are like that. So I want you to zoom in on her eyes. There. Now look at the light in there. This is the classic headshot light you see that a lot of big time headshots were for, especially for theater and actors and whatnot. And you could see me in her eyes. There's that little outline of me.
Yeah, you
But
can kinda
this,
see
I
it.
love this lighting. So this is very much like clamshell lighting in many, many ways. And I shot this at 1.8. I mean, the Sony is so good at focusing and just boom, focusing on the eyes. You never have to worry about, because if you focus on the nose or halfway on the nose or, behind the eyes a little bit on the temple, it's going to be blurred, especially shooting at 1.8. So we got absolutely stunning results. And again, okay, go back to full screen.
Okay.
And then, I mean, you could build a business. I'm convinced you could do headshots, small families, possibly commercial. Yeah, why not? Headshots for executives with that kind of lighting. I absolutely adore that kind of lighting. The only thing that would not work, obviously, is shooting after dark. Dare. So even when it's really sunny out, this is a sunny day, mid-afternoon, like this is 1 PM. The light does not come in and sort of affect it. But if it did, I would just use dampers or something. So I was really, really pleased. And with the 55mm lens, it looks like it's shot with a long lens. So, I mean, you could, if you had the right marketing, the right message, and you told people I'm going to do an amazing session for you, but it's in my apartment, and you had a good portfolio of this kind of lighting. And I've seen New York photographers with this kind of lighting in their headshot portfolio. And it's pretty much like they have a loft style place in New York.
Yeah.
And they, that's what they do. You can do it anywhere. One lens,
for sure you can.
One lens, one camera, any brand. Now, she did a session a few days later, coincidentally, of a girl, and this is a paid session. I didn't charge my daughter for these. I never charge her. Should I, John? Would you charge your daughter?
No, I wouldn't charge her. Might not go over very well.
So she sent me these a few days ago, and she was really pleased. Go to the left.
Okay.
This is an actual...
scroll.
If you hit the left arrow, it should work.
Oh, down here. Okay.
There. So this is an actual client shoot. Same area. This is exactly in the same office where I just showed you. Now this shot here is angled. You could see by the lighting, if you go in a little bit closer onto her eyes, you could see now the lighting is coming from the side. So this is almost like a portrait lighting. So she's shooting at a bit of an angle, very strong angle actually. And she's shooting these with the Sony a6500. I don't know what lens she's using because she's got the kit lens and she's got a 35mm lens. So I don't know which one she's using.
Okay.
So go to the other image, John. So this is like a happy face smile. And she got this one here. And I find she looks a little stern there. But
she does. She looks like she's going to give somebody trouble there.
Yeah. And then if you zoom in here, this is a paper backdrop that was black. And for some reason, this lady wanted black. So Danielle asked if she could borrow, if I had a black. So I brought her my black paper backdrop. We just clamped it. And this is what she used. So the same lighting, you can see it. It's a bit of an angle. She's not gotten it exactly to the same degree that I got that shot of her. Yep. And you can see the reflector is much, much smaller. Yeah. See it in her eyes?
You can see it right in the eye there, yeah. Right
yeah, she put it on the floor. And I told her, I said, no, you got to bring it up. She forgot. I'm always having to remind her because I'm her dad.
But the good thing is it's never going to be that big of a picture. So when you zoom out a bit, it actually doesn't look too bad.
No, it works. She's very, 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 very happy. But I'm just talking about the tweakiness of it all. If you go back to the image of her with the
Danielle,
the silhouette. Okay, yeah, that one. The next one, there. See how the reflector is up high. She just put the reflector on the ground.
Yeah.
By the way, that's Danielle's reflector. We bought it for her for Christmas.
Oh, good Amazon. Daddy. That's a good daddy.
And that ring light too. You see the ring light in the top left?
Yeah.
It's fun time. So there's the lighting, and see how close she is to the window. The closer you bring them to the light source, the broader the light will go, and the softer it'll go. The further away you bring them from the light source, which we don't really have a lot of wiggle room here.
No,
So
because it depends how much light's coming in there. She's going to have to go higher ISO too, unless you have a nice bright window.
it's really bright in there. It's quite
That's
nice.
good.
She's probably shooting at about 400 ISO.
I'm just using window light right now, actually, for what you're seeing here.
That's why you're extra handsome today.
Exactly. It's a little bit more of a flatter light than I usually do when I'm here, but
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at Danielle's image, the one I shot of her. I'm looking for the EXIF data.
okay.
Okay, it's not there.
I'll go get it there for you.
It's all good. So anyways,
It might even have it in here. You never know.
that's the, well, the image, that one there, no,
Oops, I
that
just passed it. Yeah.
that was on her Facebook profile. I just downloaded it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't say there.
So, but anyways, that you can see where we're going with that. That's the important thing. When you learn to see lights and
I was trying to see. Sometimes you can right click and you can get the EXIF data, but I don't see it there.
no, I brought it into Photoshop. I have to get the original because it got stripped
okay.
out when it got uploaded to Facebook.
Yeah.
Do you have another one, or do I want me to go to my third one?
You can go to one first, and then I got one more I can show you. I don't have the behind the scenes, but at least I can tell you how I did the picture.
Okay, this one's called Christina,
Okay.
or no, Rob Studio.
Where are we here?
Just click March 21 on the top left there. Just click on that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's all you got to
Go
do.
back. I just got to go back to that window there. March.
Let's click. There we go. And now click on Rob Studio and click on the top left image. So I had this is my niece. I had her come in last week. I posted these in the Facebook group too. It's just really two lights, a background light and one small 30-inch softbox. And if you zoom in really, really close, you could see in her eyes. Very little light. And if you scroll out and go to the final image, you'll see what I had done. So I was experimenting with Rembrandt lighting. I'm trying to do some artistic creative stuff, which is what I did there. And once I ran the image through Raw Editor, pulled out some detail, did a bunch of retouching. Now this one, I added a texture in the background.
Yeah.
And I added a little bit of topaz impressions, a bit of an artistic. I'm just having fun. During lockdown, I had my niece come in. She's the same age as my daughter. She's at home. She's not working. I thought, let's just go do some experimental stuff. And it's amazing what you can do with one solo light.
Yep.
Solamente. And I highly recommend anybody to do that. So if you can go back to full screen on this image, I want to point something out, Johnny. Johnny McJohnny. Johnny McButler.
Full screen.
Butler McJohn. You should change your name to Johnny McButt.
Rob's been drinking too much.
So I had her. She's got really good posture. I mean, she's literally got the body of a gymnast. So I had her sit up straight to elongate her body. And just notice the composition here. Her lies are in the top left quadrant.
Okay.
Done that on purpose. And I find it's got a nice flow. But you'll notice too, the main light's coming from the left. And her body's facing the right, so her body is going into shadow side.
Yeah,
and,
turning her face to the light.
More or less, yeah. For that, what I'm trying to do is get that classic Rembrandt light. So if you could scroll to the next image, I'll go through them nice and quick here. I love this look, and I had a mom with 3 little redhead girls who were supposed to come in last Saturday, but lockdown stopped it. And we got a new fairy backdrop. I need some samples. I asked the same mom if she would bring them in for that, and I was going to do some of these shots. So here's Christina again. That's right off the camera, just like the previous example we just showed you. And if you scroll to the right, you'll see the final. So there, again, a lot of heavy texture. I'm just playing. I'm just throwing textures on there. And if you go over one more to the right.
Very artsy.
Yeah, I'm just having fun, I thought this one looked best cropped in square.
Yeah. So it's great for Instagram.
Yeah, but it would also make a nice wall portrait. I love square portraits on the wall.
Yep.
And there's something very symmetrical about them. And this is same lighting. She's holding the flower behind her back.
Okay.
So it's the same pose as the previous one, and I had her do what you had done with your model, where her eyes are looking down. I do the same thing. I don't close your eyes, just look down. And I always say, look down softly. So, and when I do that, I say, okay, just slowly open your eyes, just your eyes, and look up at the camera. And they give me that sass look often.
Exactly. That's what I did with that one holding the plate there with the beauty dish. I told her, I said, look down or close your eyes, and on the count of 3, open your eyes. And she opened it, and when she did, there was just this look in her eye that was just perfect.
See it in your eyes.
Yeah.
Scroll to the right. That's a dude I shot the other day, just like yesterday, actually. Can you zoom in on his eyes?
Yepers.
Okay, so this is straight off the camera. His teeth are a little yellow. There's zero retouching on this. This is with the 85 mil Batis lens that I have. So I want to show lighting. And again, this is this typical portrait lighting. But I think I don't have a pullback shot. I think it's important to show you guys the point I'm trying to make. So there's a kicker light, a background light, no fill light, because there's enough fill just bouncing off of the walls.
Yep.
And the Alien B, I got a 36 octo. I got a big giant octo, and I got a small 36 octo. Yep. I got like a 70, 80 incher, and I got a 30, 36 inch octo.
I have a 37 or 36 octo too.
Yeah, very, very, very nice individuals or couples.
For portraits, yeah.
Small family. But here's what's important. I want to point this out. This is what's important to remember, in my opinion. So I have a reflector, as you can see in his eyes. Okay? So I got the light. It's coming almost at him to photograph the mass of the face. You can see the shadows on our right, his left. See the nose, the shadows. These are all important details to sort of pay attention to. And so the light's coming down at him, and I brought the light up a little higher than normal, and I pointed it down even lower, so the bulk of the light came off the reflector. That's what's creating that nice reflection inside his eyes. That little tweak.
Yep.
That little tweak, that main light, instead of blasting it right on him, it's blasting down towards the reflector. The reflector is right between the main light and him.
Yep.
And you always got to sit where they're going to be sitting, and you got to verify where the main light is going to be once you're sitting there, and you could see the reflection of the main light.
Well, the good thing about it too is it actually does more of a feathering of the light instead of direct on, like you said.
A little bit, yeah. But it's also, if you just go to the next one, it also, what it does is it's the same shot. It does a nice. It's almost like bringing the reflected light from. Yeah, go back over. I want to show you something. I like this pose.
Yeah, oh, I do too.
This is a man pose. This guy was really freaking nervous, but
very casual.
He was funny as hell. He's married, 3 kids. Oh, I got to mention something. Do a little bit of a marketing strategy. I got to show you this. Hold on. And I always like when he booked the appointment. He's a real estate agent. When he books, I do this for all my headshots.
Yep.
See that?
I'm just gonna go over here so I can see what you're doing here. Okay.
It's not focusing
kind
very
of focused.
Well. So it's a card. It says a complimentary family portrait session on us from Rob and Tina Provencher with our phone number at Westmount Photography. And on the back, it's got a nice embossed logo.
Very cool.
So when we did the shoot, he comes in and he's like, I hate having my picture taken. I just want to tell you, I hate it. I don't. And I don't know. I felt really comfortable with him.
Yeah.
And I just said, blah, 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 blah. I hear it all the time. You're going to be fine. I normally wouldn't talk to a client that way, but I did with him.
Yeah.
And we really clicked. He's really down to earth.
Yeah.
And I could tell he's very successful. And I always talk to them. I say, how many kids you got? He goes, 3, 2 boys and a girl. I go, oh, which one's your favorite? The girl. But he lives way, way like 35 miles out of town, and his wife works from home. She teaches the RN program online, and they have goats, ducks, chickens, yada, yada. He's off grid. He has solar powers. He's got a big furnace, which is a wood-fired furnace boiler outside his home. So he throws in a bunch of logs once a day, and it heats up his entire house. I'm like, unbelievable. I'm having this great conversation with this guy because I find him totally fascinating. And you got to do that. You got to connect with them to get them to relax, because he's like, according to him, he's nervous.
Yeah.
So I started to break that ice by teasing them. Blah, blah, blah. I hear it all the time.
Well, I had the funniest one today because it was a real estate agent coming in, and we took the sample shots so the makeup artist can take a look at the picture and see if she has to do any adjustments. And she goes, "That doesn't really look like my personality." I'm like, "Well, no, these are just your sample. We just want to see how the lighting's hitting you and everything." It's like, "Yeah." She goes, "Okay," because she goes, "I'm more like I got a fart type of personality." I'm like, "Well, then good, get in there and fart if you have to." It's the first time in 30 years somebody's actually come and said that.
Well, she's down to earth if she's going to talk to you, and you connected with her if she's going to talk to you that way.
Exactly. So we had a good time. We got some good shots out of it because of that. So
I got to remember that next time I feel comfortable with somebody and they're tense, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say, you know what? It's not working out. It really looks like you got a fart.
yeah.
I'll bet you that's an icebreaker.
Yeah, she was good. And then every time she looked like it was like a fake smile, I'd say, "Well, you're not farting yet, and maybe we should get you to fart more." And then she starts laughing, and then you start shooting, and you get the shots. So
when this guy was done, we're done, and my wife comes out and she makes an appointment, collects money from him, and then I give him the card. I say, "Okay, by the way, I'm going to give you a gift from us, and I want you to give this to your wife. So if you're ever interested," and he's standing in our lobby and he sees all our family photos.
Yeah.
And they always tell us this. Oh, I got to have a fan. He didn't though, but the rest of them do because he's a bit of a freak that way.
Yeah.
But they always say, "Yeah, we need but you never hear from them again. So I'm giving them incentive." So what I told him was, I say, "Here's a gift from me. We're always collecting leads." No, I didn't use the word leads. We're always building our database, and so hopefully
it falls through. And that I always say, you're going to do family portrait, you got to get the women involved because
Absolutely.
9 times out of 10, it's the women that'll hire you and they'll drag the husbands and the kids to the shoot. So,
but what I'm hoping is he gives it to his wife, and I'm hoping he says to her, "You know what? This guy was a lot of fun. He really made it easy." That's what I'm hoping he says, because I've heard that. So this is my other session from 2 days ago, and that's the one I was going to do the workflow on.
Yeah.
But I don't have it. So we'll save it for another day.
Save it for another day. But you can see the catch lights in her eyes. Still kind of like a clamshellish.
This is totally different lighting, but the same idea.
Yeah.
In studio, and that's one of my new backdrops back there. And
yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah.
I this lighting here is I got an 80-inch for the Godox, an 80-inch, which is right behind me. I'm mimicking the window light, but anyways, we'll get.
I'm still going to do an experiment too because I saw a guy. His name just got out of me, but he's out of Calgary actually, and he's a photographer, headshot photographer. Does on location, just 2 lights, reflector.
Yeah.
But he started to use his projector and
I saw
projecting
that.
backgrounds on the background. I'm gonna try that. I got a projector at home. We've been watching TV with every now and then. So or watching movies now. I'm gonna bring it to the studio. I'm gonna try it and see if we can get it to do. Just get some cool shapes and colors, and then you just project it on the wall behind you and get some. Cool
Anything's possible. I kept thinking about that too, John, and thanks for reminding me. Can you guys guess what lens this is?
The one that's on here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's probably that 55 you were talking about.
It's the 135 at
Okay.
2.8.
I knew it was one between the two of them.
If you zoom in a bit,
Yeah.
this is at 2.8. This is the widest that this lens goes. So look how sharp it is on the eyes.
Yeah, that's sharp as a tack.
And I love that about the Sony. So this is with that new backdrop that I ordered from China. I got 2 of them for.
Yeah.
I just wanted some variety. And if you go to the next shot, that's your typical.
Just a classic portrait, business portrait.
I often shoot horizontal like this because they're big files, and I can crop them in vertical or go square.
I've been doing a lot of vertical lately. I go through the whole Peter Hurley, the new Peter. Like I actually just downloaded one here too. I don't have I don't have the actual. What's the word I'm looking for? Pull out of the actual shot. I'm just opening it up right now for you.
We'll call it a pullback.
Pullback. That's it.
Hey, which browser do I have to use again?
I use Chrome.
And you figure that'll solve the problem, eh?
Hoping. I don't know if you can see that one there.
Nice.
That's her business card, actually. I just blew it up for her because she does it like that with her business card. That's the one side. And if I zoom in here for you on her eyes, it's got that little triangular formation. I call it the Peter Hurley setup.
Peter Hurley, there it is.
Yeah. And that's just 3 strip banks with my Einsteins, but you can use any lights. I know some people that do the same thing with speed lights and some strip banks because they're very low power because you got 3 of them going there. And so the one of them, which would be probably this one on the left here, is usually my main light. And the right one, I usually have them both about the same power. So roughly about, I put them to about 6.3 to 7.1, because then together when they both go, they could give me like f8 when they're both on. And then the bottom one is, a lot of people will do it the same exposure, like they'll just have all three lights the same, just so it's flat. But I like to go a little bit less. I'll usually go about a stop less, maybe 5.6 or a little bit 6.3, only because I don't want that Halloween lighting, that ghoul lighting as they call it.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be too strong.
Spook lighting.
But it gives a nice glamour look. It gives a nice milky skin tone to them. Less touch-ups to do because it's flattening out the light a bit. So it's not like a directional. It's not Rembrandt. It's not clamshell. But it just gives a nice, for a business portrait, sometimes it's really nice. And for the women, they love it because it makes them look glamorous. And they want to all look glamorous. So I've been doing that a lot lately.
What you got going on there is very much the same idea, so to speak, of what I was showing of Danielle's picture in her apartment. It's the same basic idea.
Pretty much, because that's how Peter Hurley started. He said he just had a big bay window in his New York apartment, and he used to just use that. He used to stand with his back to the window and had the models right in front of him and just shoot. Just a flat lighting. And that's how he got started with his photography until he learned this. Now you can actually go, I think on B&H, you can buy his new Peter Hurley Westcott panels or whatever. I forget what they call them. Flex kit, I think. It's the Peter Hurley Flex kit. And it's actually LED panels that are like 1x3, and he does his triangles with that. So there's no flash. He's just shooting away. The only flash is on the background. And that's what I'm doing there. I got a flash on the background just to make it pure white. But the good thing is I have the model probably about 12 to 14 feet away from my background. So when I'm shining the light on it, it's pure white. All I have to do if I want to go to a nice gray is just go to the background, and I can probably show you that actually, but I can go to the background and I can just turn that backlight off, and the backlight then becomes gray.
You're shooting this with the 200 about, right?
I'm using my 7200 between 135 and 200 probably.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
But yeah, if I go, like I have a girl I just shot the other day, and I can show you that quickly here because I know we're coming up to probably an hour and 20 minutes, but hopefully we're not boring people. I don't think we are.
No, we're exciting. We're two wild and crazy guys. People are hanging on the edges of their seats.
So if you can see my screen here now, this is a girl this is straight out of the camera. There's no touch-ups, nothing done to them. These are just her proofs, basically. So that's shot the same way. So I don't know if you can see when I can't really go too close. It's still got that triangular formation.
Yeah.
She's about 10 feet to 12 feet away from the background. But the good thing is, as soon as I go, okay, I'm going to get a little different, I'll turn the backlight off, and boom. Turn that backlight, and that white wall now becomes like a charcoal gray.
Or you could turn the light on the background really low and make it just behind her if you had I know what you mean, like that little glow behind her. That's an option too.
Yeah, I definitely that is. But with the real estate agents here, this is a way that I can give them another background without having to go and set up a gray backdrop. I just turn that backlight off. They're far enough away that the what's that law that they have? The law of
fall off. Square root.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
I've heard they call it, but the
inverse law of square
inverse law.
dynamics.
That's it. The inverse law. She's about 10 feet away, so those three lights you can see actually kind of the strip box right there on the one.
Yeah.
But these lights in front of her, by the time they hit her, that's my exposure that I've got it at. But by the time it reaches that wall, 10 feet away, 12 feet away, it's probably like 4 or 5 stops darker than what's hitting her. Yeah. So, cool. And then we changed it up to some. Nice. These are just one of those 5 feet by 7 feet pop-up backdrops. And that's one side of it. And she had this brown jacket. So I said, here, I'll put the beige up and we'll use your brown jacket with the black top. It'll look really nice. And then we had her change to her black jacket, and I turned that around because it was a double-sided backdrop. And I had this black and white, silver and bluish kind of backdrop.
Nice.
So, and we did that all within 20 minutes probably. These are just some of them. We shot a lot more, of course.
Yeah.
But it just shows, like, you just have to be creative and just learn how light works.
That's cool. I love it. Thanks for sharing that.
So,
All right. Well, between now and the next time we do something like this, John, I'm going to get this thing fixed where I can show my screen. And I think next week we're going to have a special guest. I was talking to a lady from the States. She's,
if it's who I think it is, yeah.
And there's also, well, it's not Maria, in case you're thinking.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking.
But Maria's top of my list too,
Yeah.
and it'd be cool to get her. Maybe I'll harass Maria to get her on here.
Oh, I'm sure we can get her eventually.
Yeah, soon enough. And then in a couple of weeks, if we go through some more lighting stuff, whenever, I want to show some of those pullback shots that I'm into and
Yep.
get back into it. I find it's exciting, to not only explore lighting options, but also to explore Photoshop workflow. I was telling this to my daughter's boyfriend last night. He texted me. He says, "Rob, he's learning Photoshop."
Yep.
And he did a bunch of pictures for his dad. His dad is a wood carver. So, and he was like, I got questions. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do question back and forth via text. I said, I'll come over right now and help you.
Yep.
So, and one thing I explained to them was I really like when I go to a conference or a webinar or whatever, and other seasoned photographers are going to go and dedicate a portion to their workflow. I love doing that.
Yep.
So it's like, whoa, that's so cool. But I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it like 3 steps deviation from the norm, but getting the same results. And maybe I'll borrow this. Maybe I'll quit doing that. I love doing that stuff because it's something that really bonds us photographers as it's kind of weird. We're bonding through the Photoshop. We're bonding through Photoshop. It's true though.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the dark room. I don't know how you feel about that, or if that makes any sense.
It'd be cool.
To you.
And if you want, what I'll do maybe is I have a girls' hockey team. Actually, it's that one that I showed you before, where I did that new style that I'm shooting with the that company.
Yeah.
That team from last year, they've hired me to do it again, and I'm actually going the end of this month. I think it's next Tuesday actually, to photograph at the rink with them with just a white backdrop. I don't have a small white backdrop, so I'll probably just take my 10 by 20 vinyl backdrop or whatever, and one of my boards to put on so they don't walk on my vinyl backdrop with their skates. But I'll take my video camera with me, and I'll do some behind the scenes of me shooting it, and I'll get permission from them that it's okay to use, which will be no problem, I'm sure. And I'll walk you through how I do it and show you my lighting and that, and then and we could play that video on one of our episodes here, and then I can show you the final product too when it's all done.
I love it.
And how we do it.
So as we close off, 2 things. When we're done, I'm going to go get the replay. So stick around your computer because you probably get that notice.
Yep.
You're going to have to send me the code.
Yep.
And secondly, more importantly, I want to just finish off with, a big thank you to you, John. Amazing. And I want just a quick marketing story. Okay, let's finish this with a marketing story. You'll see over my shoulder right here.
That little dude, yep.
That's Dan Kennedy. That's his bobblehead. He's sitting on a bull. That's where the NoBS came from, because all his books were called the NoBS Guide to whatever he was. And I latched on to Dan Kennedy in 1995, same year I got married, and became a big fan. Subscribed and sent him a lot of money. He's by far influenced me more than anyone. So, quick story about Dan Kennedy. So the founder of Wendy's Hamburgers is
Dave Thomas.
Exactly. So Dave Thomas, his company went to Dan Kennedy back in the day and was looking for some marketing. And Dan Kennedy has told this story. And Dave Thomas did not like being on the camera. Like, can you go Google Dave Thomas?
Yep.
And grab an image of him, and you'll see the white backdrop. I don't know if it'll show his bare arms, but he always wore dress shirts that were short sleeve. Okay. And I told this story to my daughter earlier today, and she said it gave her shivers.
I think I know what you're talking about here.
I think it's such a basic story. It's so powerful, so powerful. So, anyways, Dan said, "No, we got to put Dave on the TV, on the screen." Dave did not want to do it. So him getting on in front as a representative of Wendy's was not something that Dave was okay with. But Dan convinced him, and it became the backbone of their marketing. And there he is. So look at that guy. I mean, he's like your friendly grandpa, down to earth, right? And Dave Thomas became the face of Wendy's.
Yep.
And that
Named it after his daughter.
Yeah. Apparently he regretted that. And I think maybe because it made her famous and it became a pain in the ass. Just like what's her name? Jane Curtin from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
The first season. Do you remember Saturday Night Update?
Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
Dan Aykroyd and her.
Yep.
And she was saying the counterpoint, and she said something, and Aykroyd just looks at her and goes, "Jane, you ignorant slut." and Jane said that haunted her for decades.
Oh, jeez.
So sometimes these things, which are iconic, meme-worthy, and funny as hell, end up being a pain in the ass. So I think that's what happened with Dave's daughter. She was just like known as the Wendy's restaurant.
Yeah.
And it probably got tiring after a while. But anyways, Dave became the face of the restaurant. And that's a good marketing message, all about bringing personality. And the most obvious thing, especially in a market like hamburgers where you're a commodity, you really got to stand out. So use personality, be authentic. And one way to do that is to do something like that. So
definitely. And then they ended up buying Tim Hortons and made Tim Hortons not a Canadian franchise anymore.
Bastards. Those Americans, they're all evil.
Yeah.
They're taking over. No,
They're
I'm joking.
taking over.
I love Americans.
I
I love
know,
Canadians. I love everybody.
People.
I love you too, John. So, and your wife and your kids and your studio and everybody in your town. So, I'm going to shut up now.
He's showing love everywhere.
Got lots of love to give. So.
Yeah. I'm thinking of, I was also thinking for your, we can talk afterwards. It's about the ferry day. We'll talk about it after.
Okay. We will talk some more if it's something to do with the Ottawa Valley Ferry Day coming up this July. Sunday. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
No, it's going to be great. So other than that, I think we've got everything down that people are probably sick of hearing us now.
Yeah. No, they love us. We love them. They love us back.
Just make sure you tune in next week where we maybe have a special guest. Rob's lining somebody up.
Yeah. Lots of options there, and we'll let you know. We'll keep you posted.
All right. So
thanks,
we'll let
Johnny.
him go for now. Thank you, sir. We'll talk to everybody later.
Ciao.